Hello and happy Friday. So, today, this happened. Because a local op shop was having a 10 books for $1. Also DVDs, but who cares? It hadn't actually meant to go serious book hunting, but I'd been to the dentist. I owed myself something good. So, this book I haven't heard of, Graham Lay. It's a Penguin original, apparently. A Return to One Foot Island. Don't know much about it, except that it's New Zealand Polynesian themed. The back says that we've got Tuane as the main character, which I'm probably mispronouncing because I don't speak Cook Island. She's been at school in Auckland, so that's New Zealand, and she's come home. So it's a kind of Australian, New Zealand, Polynesian theme, and when I opened it up at random, I saw that there was sailing happening on the Pacific Ocean, so sold. Next we've got Charlaine Harris, Knight's Edge. So this confused me when I first looked at it. It says Charlaine Harris in big friendly letters to make sure that people will buy it. And I did. But then I couldn't tell if it was one story or three stories. And then I finally realised that there's actually three stories in this volume. One is Dances in the Dark by Charlaine Harris. That's actually the third one. There's another one, Her Best Enemy by Maggie Shane. And Someone Else's Shadow by Barbara Hambley. I suspect that the two other ones are kind of fan fiction set in Charlaine Harris's universe. Maybe most people will remember Charlaine Harris for her Sookie Stackhouse series that got made into a televised series on HBO. This is a world in which vampires have come out of the closet. In Japan, they created a synthetic blood originally meant for medical purposes, but vampires can use it so they don't have to drink human blood, and they came out of the closet wanting rights of all of humanity. I like the Sookie Stackhouse series to a point. The first 8 or 10 maybe even were really good, and then Charlaine Harris sold out a little bit and started producing the most noxious nonsense, and I stopped reading. But she has got other series as well. Some of them are very good. I like her writing overall. I don't think it's amazing, but it's enjoyable. So I'll definitely enjoy that story by her. The other two we'll see. Now this one was really exciting. Matthew Riley Troll Mountain in this really beautiful little hardcover. And it's got some illustrations in there somewhere. I think I saw them. Never mind. Anyway, Troll Mountain. It's a children's series about trolls on a mountain. Now, I have read the first one and I really quite enjoyed it. I haven't read much else by Matthew Riley, though I think at some stage I have read some of his more adult stuff. This volume apparently has the first 3 Troll Mountain series, and having read the first one, I was keen to find number 2 and number 3, and I hadn't done that up to now, so very happy with this find. All of 10 cents. 2 more. I probably wouldn't have bought these ones for full price because they are young adult. There's a few things that make this one rather suspicious. Both the titles are unpronounceable, not words. Thyla, I gather, is the name of the main protagonist in this, by Kate Gordon, and Vulpe is the number 2, again by Kate Gordon. The back indicates that she's a supernaturally abandoned, orphany, something young adulty supernaturally. Its good side is that it's based in Tasmania. So it's an Australian author, always a positive. Based in Tasmania, a story of darkness, of convicts, of death, and tigers, Tasmanian tigers I hope, and of promises that stay true throughout the centuries. It is the story of what happened to Cat, and what Tessa really is. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll give them a go. And then again, another one I probably wouldn't have gone in for if it hadn't been for the fact that they were so cheap. Bad as that sounds. So, John Marsden. I think there's very few Australians who aren't aware of John Marsden as an author. He's pretty famous. He wrote Tomorrow When the War Began, which is a great young adult book. Long before, I believe, we had the Hunger Games, we had Tomorrow When the War Began, set in Australia. Australia gets invaded by a unnamed yet strongly hinted Asian country who basically wants to take over Australia because they don't have enough space and resources and they think we've got too much. When Australia is invaded, some rural Australian town, a whole heap of teenagers have gone camping. They're well out of phone range, they're away from civilization, and so they're saved from being captured like everyone else. They come back into town determined to free their friends, family and neighbours, and that's Tomorrow When the War Began. It turned into a long series which I haven't read most of. So I have read the first one, and I think I read the second one at some stage, but I don't remember it well. The second one is The Dead of the Night. Whether I've read it or not, I'm happy to read it again. The third one is The Third Day, The Frost. Definitely I haven't read this one, looking forward to it. In the shop, number 1 and number 4 were missing, so I don't have those, but I've got number 5, Burning for Revenge, number 6, The Night is for Hunting. I've heard good things about this one, actually. And number 7, The Other Side of Dawn. Well, I've read John Marsden's Tomorrow When the War Began, number 1 and 2. I've read a few other of his books. I really like his writing style. I enjoy his narratives, and I like the way it's contemporary Australian. Well, it's young adult, and Tomorrow When the War Began is perhaps a bit younger than some young adult can be. I still think the writing is quite good. It's richer and it contains more character development, plot, narrative structure and dialogue than a lot of young adult tends to. Young adult can be superficial. I don't find John Marsden's writing superficial, however, so I'm quite excited about these. Look forward to reading them. Have already started the Charlaine Harris, in fact. So, yeah, that's what happened today for $1.